Peace and love. I'm Prince, your host with the Hootie Bishop L. Day, domicile universal, zip code exempted. Also, Grand Sheik, Minister Hootie Bishop L. Day, the most holy temple of science of the world. All rights is reserved and enforced by international law as well as universal law, which is given by our God and our subconscious of righteousness. Peace and love. Today, the topic is about humans versus computers. This is what we're going into. Um, our people got to start using their conscious, their subconscious, and understand what's taking place. A lot of stuff has been put out on the internet, movies, et cetera, et cetera. These people are telling you what they're going to do to you. And by them notifying you, you cannot scream or yell or complain about what these people are going to do to you because they told you before they did it. I really don't be wanting to give any advertisement to Facebook or Instagram, but as you can see, they're transferring over to virtual reality. Do anybody know what a virtual reality is? Can anybody tell me what a virtual reality is?
Like in a simulation, not real.
A simulation. So what can that do to the mind?
As far as what?
As far as the virtual reality, what type of control can that take on the mind?
I would say it can take over total control if you give access to it.
So these people are using virtual realities. They're using a tactic against the human brain. And everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, I say 99% of the world is falling for it. Sister Vazir, go ahead.
No, I was just wanting to answer your question, but I think she already answered it. But I wanted to say that what virtual reality does is take you out of real time and put you in a false world, and you're not really paying attention to what's real anymore. You know, like the game The Sims. If you play The Sims long enough, and I'm guilty because I love The Sims. I get to create my own world and so on and so forth. Y'all get where I'm going with this, right? So this is just the beginning of creating a new world in my eyesight.
I say.
I agree. I think that social media is the beginning of that. You feel me? People create their own world. People sit at home and watch other people live their lives. You feel me? Our children are watching other children on YouTube play games. So this has been in the making for about 10, 15 years now to set us up for virtual reality.
So what Sister Vazir said, which is crazy, did you hear what you just said? You got on a video game, created you a character, created you a lifestyle that looks good inside a video game, and our people couldn't even create these lifestyles for themselves in the real world.
Exactly. And that's the problem with technology, is that it's taking us away from what's really going on. See, that's the danger in this world. It's not the guns and the weapons and things. It's the information that we're being fed through media, through these video games, through radio, and all of this technology. So, you know, with that being said, we all over the place. We are all over the place trying to keep up. Nobody is really grounded in paying attention to what's going on in real time. like what's going on in the other country. It take you away from that. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to talk too much. That's it.
So y'all do know that computers was invented with encyclopedias in 1985.
Repeat.
Huh?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
Y'all do know that computer, Microsoft Words, and encyclopedia, all this was created in 1985.
With IBM?
Yeah, IBM, you got Apple. Remember, Apple had the ugliest hard drive computers ever. It really looked like an Apple. It was the green computer that was small.
Yep.
We have to pay attention to what we're up against. We're no longer up against humans. We're up against a computer. We're going against the machine now. And these people can never beat us face to face, ever. And no history you can pull that these people beat us in a fair fight. Even in Africa, when they went to conquer, how did they conquer? They used a spy. That was considered intelligence. Central Intelligence Agency, they sent the agent to get information and bring back to them so they can learn the structure of how to tear down this nation. We are in an era of information. Information has been exposed. When COVID-19 dropped and hit the surface, a lot of things was exposed. We was exposed to a lot of lies. The lies had came out and the truth had shined its light. But our people still are in the matrix and still stimulated to a degree where they still can't think for themselves. How many people seen a movie called Us?
That came out a few years ago, right?
Then you see where they made clones of these people and their highest performance abilities to go against yourself. So with this virtual reality, you will only be going against yourself in a cyber world. That means you will no longer be able to think inside your brain. You'll be inside a world that you got no control over. So you no longer can play Sims. You will really be inside the game called Sims. Who has the control to turn off the game? So when the COVID-19 dropped, there was a person's name that was ringing. His name was ringing bells all around the world. Do y'all know what's his name? Do you know what this man's name is? He dealt with the
Bill Gates.
Yes, Bill Gates. Now Bill Gates done went MIA. They did not update the world when Sophia, y'all know who Sophia is. I think I told y'all before. Sophia is the first robot that has a citizen in Saudi Arabia. I can't hear you, brother. Still can't hear you.
First AI citizenship.
Yup. And do y'all believe that's going to be the last? Just think about it. If she's the first AI to get a citizenship, that means she has the right to be voted as mayor or the chief of police and everything else. What happens when these AI take political positions? Then what? Even though she's artificial intelligence, she's a robot, she still has a human owner, which no longer, if she's the mayor, wouldn't that make him the mayor as well? Because he get to control his property. Humans versus the computers. What is this on this paper? Can you see it? Y'all seen it? Did it glare? What is this?
Barcode.
So I get to keep traction on you. I can trace you anywhere you go. If you got a debit card, a credit card, I can trace you anywhere you go. You got a debit card, credit card, food stamps, cash app. Anything that you make a purchase, I can locate you, identify you, and understand what have you purchased. You cannot run from me. First, I was tracing you with the social security number and your ID card. I no longer need that no more. All I need you to do is swipe your card and I know where you at immediately. Soon as you make purchase. Go ahead, Xavier.
Those are all mark of the beast. All of those are all forms of the mark of the beast. Credit card, debit, all of that. Anything that involves their technology, which is used for control, pretty much, that is a mark of the beast. So we all pretty much fell into this shit because we use debit and credit cards every single day.
Shay.
That's all I had to say.
Mercedes?
Yeah, I'm gonna yield. Yield on that.
Mercedes, you raising your hand?
No, I didn't raise my hand. That was from the first time I made a statement. It never went down.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question the elder asked me earlier, my teacher. Really crazy. Somebody should mute their phone because it's very loud. This is the question to everybody, and anybody can answer. Do you think other groups, non-melanated, have its challenges, and what is the general difference? And he was speaking on unifying. Do you see the Europeans arguing, debating, don't want to spend money with each other, don't want to elevate, anything of these natures? What is the difference between us and their people at this point? We can say that we're the melanated, we're the originals, etc. And we are. But where did we go wrong as a people? And how did we become this weak that we are at the lowest point of the voting poll and everybody has proceeded past us? I want to hear what y'all response on this.
Repeat that.
Huh?
Can you repeat that?
What's the difference between the melanated people, which is us, versus the non-melanated people, as far as unity, spending money with each other? The list goes on. Basically, how did we become so weak and basically reach the lowest point of the voting poll and everybody proceed passes?
Well, brother, it was all done by design and help from our own people. Um, we became too concerned with self, and we gave leadership, too much leadership and too much power to this devil, to this oppressor. Somewhere along the lines, we allowed them to dictate every aspect of our lives. And then even with that, it's like Marcus Garvey said, any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. And that's exactly what has happened. He got his leadership over us. We allowed him, even the ones who were taking against their will, still in itself, we allowed it. Nobody will, even when it comes to violence, no one will do to you what you don't allow.
Right.
Try the same model with any other people, and it would be outright war. If this devil had went to China trying to enslave Chinese, the Chinese would have crushed them. Had this oppressor gone to any other nation, Arab, anywhere in the world, it would have been outright warfare. But because we trusted them, be it our nature to nurture, to give aid to, we pretty much, and I say it carefully and respectfully, but at the same time, we have pretty much, even if some of it was against our will, allowed this oppressor to do the things that even today, to do the things that he does. I mean, and you can see that in every aspect, in law, in military force, military tactics, law enforcement, in the courtroom, in the governing bodies. You try these same tactics in other places, and if the people don't want it, and not going to tolerate it, they do something about it. Only thing we want to do is talk. And again, it's because of the mindset that we have been conditioned into. But I feel is after this corona and the things after this year, things are going to have changed a lot.
So
and I yield the floor.
You said a name, right? And I know we like the quote from different leaders, right? These same leaders that give us these good quotes that we should apply to ourselves. What if these are the same leaders that have infiltrated our own nation and sold us out?
In some aspects, I agree, but you have to look at each individual leader, and again, I say this respectfully, it depends on the person's ideology of how they sell us out. Some people would say, some people on the other side would say, okay, Marcus Garvey was a sellout, or Booker T. Washington was a sellout. You see what I'm saying? But again, that just depends on a person's ideology. I mean, I'm not going to say that he was perfect and he was God and he was the model person that you should be, but at the same time, some of these leaders, we sure as hell can use them again in these times.
Okay, boom. So since we got on that, let's just go through a leader list. We have Marcus Garvey. We have Noah Wale, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. What is his name? Barwin, Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seals. All of these are they all had different organizations. They all pointed the finger at the beast. But at some point, why didn't these leaders come together? Because they all were murdered by the same beast. Every single one of them was murdered by the beast. If it wasn't by the beast himself, it was the agent of the beast that murdered this person. And I don't think our people dive into that. Martin Luther King was killed by a sniper. They claim it was a black man. But who did the black man report to? Who gave the black man the gun? Malcolm X, same thing.
But see, MLK was killed by his own people. With Martin Luther King, it was a two-step process. See, a lot of people want to say that he was assassinated and he died on the balcony where he was shot. He did not. He survived the assassination attempt.
They killed him in the hospital.
They killed Martin Luther King in the hospital. It was the Dixie Mafia and a doctor that was working with them who killed King. But nevertheless, King's own people sold him out. The CIA assassinated Malcolm X. Just put they knew the tension between Malcolm and the Nation of Islam, but in the end, the CIA assassinated Malcolm X. I mean, there's no question there. So Marcus Garvey died of natural causes.
You think so?
And had Marcus Garvey continued to push on, I think he would have done a lot more. But yes, you're absolutely right. 90% of our leadership, but see, the leaderships that get assassinated, again, it's our fault. And let me explain why it is our fault. Because anything that we build, any person that we put up on a pedestal to lead us as a nation, it doesn't matter if you even agree with the person, we don't protect shit. We may fight back, but by the time we start to fight back, it's already too late. And I love my people. I live for my people. I die for my people, and I'm a servant of our people. But I have to call it how I see it. We have to take some responsibility. We can't just sit here and blame the white man, blame the white man, blame the white man. We can blame him for about 75% of it, yes. But it's also the people who look like us, who betray us. We allow betray us. Yes, we allow it. So and what I mean by allow, because when we have a traitor, we do nothing about it.
So let me be the devil's advocate real quick. He claimed that these Europeans come from the Caucasus Mountains, correct? That's what a lot of our leaders put. These are cave monkeys. Let me see. These are cave monkeys.
No, he's a snow chimp.
Yeah, you know, all those different attributes of these people that wasn't civilized and they ate off each other, and you know. At some point, our people went into the caves and civilized these animals. These animals came out the caves and said, we can evolve. And with evolving or evolution, we can take over and conquer. See, I think a lot of people, I don't blame the Albions. How? Because we put these bastards in this position. And we still put these bastards in the same position today. Even with these college students. That's why we really got to get out here and reach these college students, because they're going into programming. and indoctrination. They would never teach you the truth in any scale of school according to the Rothschild. He never set up the school system to ever be taught to teach the melanated people that they're the original. You were taught that these are the lowest, uncivilized, dirty, killing, savage people of the earth. And then our people get motherfucked. Like today, everybody around and celebrating Halloween. Ooh, I get this. Now you're being somebody that you're not. You don't want to be yourself today. You want to be a fucking dinosaur, a dog, a stripper, a hooker, Batman, Superman. Do you know how much money you just gave colonizers all over again? Our people can spend money in these Albion holidays, but when it comes to building our own shit, we got trust issues. Did you trust McDonald's when you bought that McDonald's that was human meat? Or fries that get cold when you heat them back up that never taste the same, taste like rubber? See, our people are I don't even know what you want to call them. They're mind fucked. They're mind fucked. We have not accomplished anything since all these leaders have been assassinated. Malcolm came, Martin came, Noble Drew Ali, all these different organizations. Excuse my language. Still ain't got no land. Niggas still ain't got no military. Niggas still don't got no hotels, houses, or anything. And the ones that do, they think they're better than everybody. They have lost their fucking mind. That's why when I stated the Boston Tea Party, the tea won't spill over because they was arguing over constitutional law. The tea spilled over like, y'all heard about them niggas saying they creating the African American Masonic Lodge? Yeah. Where's that cargo at? And cargo's on the same shit with the rest of you, metaphorically speaking. Prince Millie Hall, y'all know who Booker T. Washington is. See, our people get scared of the Masonic speakers and the lessons of the Masonic degrees because they're told that it's a form of Illuminati. But how can you go against something that you don't have no information on in debts? How can you go against it and you don't know how the beast operates? Let's look at the system of the beast, the computer, the machine. You have Department of Human Service, which they deal with CPS, clinics, hospital, benefits of the people, something we depend on. You have the judicial system, which they control you, they write you tickets, charge you with criminal charges, blase, blase. Another system that entrap you, hospitals, you get sick. They don't fix the problem. They give you medicine to numb you that's mixed with herbals that tips to fight off the bacteria and infections of the body. You have airports. You can't travel without that in the air. Transportation can't travel without that. Every department that was created by the beast, we depend on. Every department. DMV, courthouses, hospitals, schools, jobs, grocery stores, hotels. We have no control of none of these things. You have to pay attention to the computer. You can't use a computer unless you know how to use it. You'll be stuck at the home screen not knowing what to do. Our people is far off the net. We don't know what an IPS is, which it traces your address. Every time you send a text out, it goes through a tower and it lets them people know where you done sent the text from. This shit gets wicked. You have iPhones that they can tap into your device at any moment and see what you're doing. Their cameras, remember, it still got a address attached to it. That phone is assigned to a tower. Boy, we gotta step our game up. Our game better get tight. What would we do if it was to shut off all electronics? How would you get to your phone? A lot of people don't even know how to map. And if your family's 6 hours away, my question to you, are you willing to walk to see if they're safe or not? We really have a lot. I mean, a lot to cover. We really have a lot to cover and go over. 80% of my family has been vaccinated. I got little homies that have been vaccinated, not because they wanted to, because they love this thing called a sport. Little bro in college, he played college ball. They told him if you don't get vaccinated, you would be sad. Got a sister that's locked up in prison. They told them if they ain't vaccinated, guess what? You're gonna be court to go behind the door. How do you force people against their will? We have gave this machine so much power that we're powerless. And brothers like myself or sisters like myself, it's not too many of us that's ready to fight. We're going to be fighting our own people before we fight the beast, because these people are willing to fight the beast. You mean it? What you mean don't get vaccinated? I can't go to work and make no money. I can't pay my bills, etc., etc. Listen, you are going to work to live. You ain't work for nothing. You're working for time. You ain't getting paid to work. You're working for time. How do you work for time? Okay. You got a 9 to 5. Let's break it down. You got a 9 to 5. You work 5 days a week, off 2 days. That's the usual job. Work 5 days, off 2 days. You go in at 9, you get off at 5. That's 5 days out of 30. 5 times 4 is 20 days out of 30. But really, you work 25 days out of 30. You go to work, you listen to a column, you tell you what to do. You have no time with your children or anything. You get your paycheck, and you return the same check that was issued back to the same person that issued the check. Do you not? The same check that they gave you, you're gonna take to pay your fucking bills with. And you might get you an ice cream or go to the movies and enjoy yourself. But majority, 90% of this check is gonna go to your bills that they just gave you to pay you for your time. And you turn around and take that time and give it back to them. So you're basically working for free. Tell me when man created water. Tell me when man created apple trees. Tell me when man created fish, cows. If we was the creator of these things, we wouldn't be paying. So now we're being sold things that are natural birth from the earth. So this man charges you $1 for a bottle of water that he got from the ocean. How do that work? Really? You know what's the next thing that's going to happen with this cyber information? You're going to pay for air. You don't believe me? You really don't think these people will make you pay to breathe the air? They make you pay to drink water that you have to have in your body to stay hydrated. What makes you think these people won't enforce you paying for air? And a lot of our people probably free willy do it. They'll walk right into there and pay their air bill. That's what it's gonna be called, their air bill. You already pay a water bill, an electrical bill, a gas bill. All of these things that you're paying are fucking elements that are free to the earth. They could never run out of any of these things. Gas won't ever run out because it's natural. Oxygen won't go out unless they start tampering with shit and producing mad carbon dioxide, man-made shit. Water, the world is majority of water. Electricity, you got eels that give out electrical shocks that can kill a human with a couple voltage because of the watts inside of their electrical shock when they sting you. How did we give these people so much power? Really? Do y'all believe that the Egyptians was roaming around in the pyramids with no lights on? That's like walking around your house fucking blindfolded. You really believe these people ain't have electricity? It's us versus the computer. First and foremost, it's us versus our own kind. Because right now, when we're arguing, we're not arguing like back in the days. You know, when two grown people argue with each other, that was a physical argument. That's something you can argue and y'all eventually had to resolve the issue and let it go and move on. Now these niggas on the internet. What? Fuck you. I ain't gonna see you anyway. Enter. Oh, this is called a cyber argument. This is not really real. This is keyboard wars. You going to war with your keyboard. Your keyboard is your new gun and guitar. So they already been stimulating the mind with this virtual bullshit anyway. Your kids, the first thing they want to do when they get up is run to a phone. What's on YouTube? Oh, YouTube has a certain setting where it directs your kids to certain videos without them even knowing it. Why? Because as soon as they type in kids stuff, and the computer's so smart that they know this not an adult typing into the search engine. It's a kid due to the keywords that they're using. And usually when they see kids try to type in words and it's XXZYXXX, they go ahead and direct them right to the kiddie section and what they want them to see. It's a system that is set up to control your children. Once we control your youth, your whole generation and everything after that is swiped. We don't even have to kill the bloodline no more. It's going to kill his fucking self. This is a suicide mission that we're going into. If it was up to me, I would take all electronics from all children. Open that fucking book and read. Give me that phone. Go read that book. Go outside. Understand how nature is. Understand how to survive. Because a lot of these people, it's going to be like this. Like we're talking now, this is virtual reality. You couldn't do this back in the day. You had to get your ass up and go meet me at the corner at that building so we could sit down and talk. Now look at us. And when they control it, this is what's going to happen. Oh, my screen froze, my bad. That's how it works. But we not tapping in. Are we gonna use our brain or are they gonna use our brain? Which one? Someone's gonna gotta give. You can use your brain or they can use your brain. Either one or two gonna happen. And that's just what it is. We're going against Bonita and the Beast. You can't run. You can't hide. You like hearing your loved one's voice. So y'all can be having a private conversation, which really ain't private. It's open to the public, and who's ever tapped into them cell phone towers can understand and hear everything you saying that's coming out your mouth. Shit, we probably got 1,000 fucking agents watching us right now. But me, I really don't give a shit because the war is going to happen regardless. And me, you might as well kill me now because I am not going to be submissive to this motherfucking game they want to play. You can kill me and use my body however you want to fucking use it after I'm gone, but I'm going to the next round. The hell with these people here. As a chief, we either going to step up and stand tall or we going to shut the fuck up and sit down. This is not an arena for weak ass people. This is an arena for warriors that's willing to fight to the death. Want to open the floor. What's y'all feedback on that?
I believe the sisters had questions.
Oh, go ahead and ask your questions. My bad. You know your hands is up, so I can't see it. Because your hands, when you put your hand up, it still shows that your hand's up. So if y'all got any questions and concern, the floor is open.
I just wanted to say, actually, as a people, we are happy people and, you know, happy-go-lucky and woo, woo, woo. So we have corruption, you know, within our leadership in all over the place. Wherever we came from, there was corruption. There were people that could be bought and people that got their palms greased in order to have these people come and take whatever they want from us, you know, like over like the queen, she has our artifacts there and nobody's making her give that shit back. And you know, just the arrogance of it, you know, she's sitting there with our stuff and she's like, we're not giving it back. France gonna tell us what they're gonna give us back. So I think that we have been very giving people, and we have let people take advantage of us out of fear. They've given us their religions, and that installed fear in us because we always have had people that don't stick together in what you would call the house, you know what. So I don't know what it's going to take to bring people together, because at every leadership that you look at, there's some form of corruption there. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get across, but anywho, yeah, we allow people to do this to us in a certain way, because I'm thinking back to slavery and the rebellion, like of Haiti, and how they took over and stuck together and fought and won. I mean, so if we could have lost that fear, we probably could have done something like that, like what Haiti did, but it's going to take something really drastic at this point to happen, because we're too far behind in all areas as a people. Technology, everything, you know, with this currency getting ready to change, we have to learn it. It's just so much we have to learn and teach at the same time, and do our day-to-day to be parents and to pay bills and so on and so forth. I yield.
And to piggyback on what you said, I think that we should instill fear into our people. And I'm not saying fear has to be scared of this beast. I mean to instill fear that says, if you don't fight for your people, you're going to be sent to hell anyway. So don't worry about it. Jesus coming to save you. Because you're going straight to hell. This hell that's inside your mind, that's where you're going. No person that's not willing to fight for our people is not going to a higher dimension. Nobody wants your sellout weak ass. My ancestors don't. And that's what we have to get down to. These people have to be instill fear to them. And these political religious leaders tell you, oh, brother, that ain't righteous. And that's not the work of God. And what would Allah do? And Let me tell you, a man of God is a man that stands on the laws of the universe. Because you have to look at it. If you're a righteous man, you would never take any type of trade to sell out your people. It won't end you. Remember, you would have died than to be in bondage. So as soon as you make that trade contract, you just enter a contract of bondage.
To piggyback off of that, and I believe this true of all people, of all races, you know, everybody here. There is a saying, I'm a historian by default. It's in the blood, like literally. So I say that to say this. Any man who does not learn from history and their story is doomed to repeat it. When the European pushed the Moors out of Europe, they used a tactic of religion. And to get people to co-sign on that, they told them that it was backed by God. This is a holy war. This is what your creator wants. So, with that being said, we have to utilize these same tactics, because when you look at strategy, when you look at war, when you look at revolution, tactics that have proven themselves to work are often the tactics that win the battle, or the decisive battle that could win a war. See what I'm saying? That's why we have this. That's why we have the saying, you know, sometimes you have to take from another person's book and build on it. Use the exact same tactics that this oppressor has used in the past. Change them up, switch them up, and use what is needed, because this is a spiritual warfare. But when we talk about physical warfare, and see, that's another thing that I really hate when it comes to our people. We'll roll up on each other for nothing. Even in a war, we will kill our own people, or people that look like us. But white man could do the exact same thing that we shot John down the street for. But that white man could do the exact same thing, or that Asian man can do the exact same thing, and we don't do a fucking thing.
Nope.
What the fuck are we afraid of? If you could kill John down the street, you could put that gun to that white man's head and pull the trigger. You could put the gun to that Asian man's head who put their hands on your woman, or put their hands on your child and pull that trigger. Don't think that Asian man won't do the same to you. They have a history of killing our people and getting away with it. And then they hide behind the Asian hate bill. Wake up, people. If you could, like I've said, if you could pull that gun on John down the street, you better be ready to pull that gun on Chun Li and Ryu and Peter Griffin behind the police desk, but these cave beasts. You see what I'm saying? Switch up the mentality. Now, I'm not saying go out here and kill people. Actually, that's what I'm saying, just a little bit. But at the same time, like I said before, if you can pull your weapon when it resorts to violence, if you can act that violence out on your people, you should be damn sure ready to put it on anybody else who disrespects or will do anything to violate our people.
I agree, but that comes with the Willie Lynch syndrome. You feel me? He said if we live by this, it could last for centuries, 300-400 years, and our people are suffering from that. So even go back to what's the difference between us and them is they know who they are and we don't know who we are. You feel me? We don't have a nationality, and that causes confusion within our people. Our people, we are the lost people. You feel me? Do I think we're weak? No, I don't think we're weak. Because like you said, you got heart to go kill your brother, but you won't go downtown and actually kill the enemy. You feel me? We got niggas out here who die for their block, but won't die for their children. You feel me? They're more loyal to their gangs than they are to their women. And that's just the syndrome that they would have to overcome through truth and knowledge. You feel me? In Chicago, I know in the summer times, on Sundays, because there's not much to do. So, we're right off of Lake Michigan. The lake is packed. It's thousands of us out there. And they're having a good time. It's not no BS, but they drinking and smoking and, you feel me, enabling their lower self. You feel me? But man gave up his birthright to gratify his lower self. You feel me? And that's where this happened. So we all can come together, get drunk, get high, have a good time, but we can't seem to come together to progress in life. We cannot do that together. Like I ask the same thing, like, what's the issue? How can we come together when it's BS, but when it's something that's productive, we cannot stand together? I mean, a lot of it is lack of knowledge. You feel me? I was in the gas station last weekend. My brother said, what you mixed with? You feel me? I had my wrapped up and everything. I said, I'm not mixing anything. I'm more. And I said, and you are too, and everyone in this gas station is. And it was like 10 brothers. And you could tell they all from the streets, or they gang bang, or you feel me? They just out here lost. And even one brother said, I'm black. And I had to explain to him what black was. And then they started asking questions. You feel me? They were inquiring about it. They don't know. Our people just don't know. Like, they really are going off of what mama said, what grandma said, what pastor said. And no one's telling them what really is. And everything is, the system is backwards. You feel me? And they've made it this way. They flipped everything so we can stay in confusion. It's only a few of us that can see past that. And we probably have always been like this our whole life. It didn't just start now. And also to reiterate on the phones, back in the day, they did have people listening in. We had landlines. We didn't have cell phones. Somebody called from jail. Somebody was actually listening. In 2021, we don't need an actual agent or person to listen on phone conversations. Artificial intelligence is listening to everything that you're talking about. It's comprehending, it's recording, and that they don't need people to even record us.
Man, these niggas is ranking us.
But see, this is where and it goes in all animals. It goes in human and animal alike, and even plant life, even insect life. Evolve or die. See, now we people forget we have the exact same technology. So what is stopping us from, and y'all gonna laugh at me, I don't care. In my off time, I'm a big goddamn Star Wars fan. I really am. Yes, I'm a Star Wars fucking nut. I'll be the first one to say it. Hey, look, I'm Star Wars fucking nut. But at the same time, I understand, do the same thing they did. When Star Wars is a story of mankind from the beginning of history. You got the people who were oppressed, fighting against an empire. We're in the same situation and have been for 600 years. Even if you got to get something off of inspiration is in all things, and all it takes is a spark to really start something. You see what I'm saying? King Arthur. Star Wars is nothing but the story of King Arthur and his and the Round Table Reborn, just packaged differently. You see what I'm saying? But the message still remains: an oppressed people rising up against their oppressor. So we talk about technology. What's stopping our people? Our people, when we put our minds and hearts and souls into something, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. We have proven that time and time again. We've proven that when this oppressor gives us lemons, we make lemonade, alcohol, and everything else. So use that, and I say that to use that in this technology age. We need to get the most brilliant minds who are with us, who are of our people, and rival technology. I mean, build a rebellion out of it. Let me tell you, story time, historic fact. The Viet Cong who had scraps, who had less than scraps. The leader of the Viet Cong during that time used to travel from Vietnam to New York to listen to Marcus Garvey. He built his entire revolution on what he heard from Marcus Messiah Garvey. Now you take a people who have less than we do. These people, this military, crushed a superpower. So what is our problem? Does everybody get where I'm coming from? I mean, the major problem is unity, but we have to put aside all of our differences, come together, and do what needs to be done. I don't care about technology.
We gotta take that religion shit out of there. Like religion is really fucking us up. That's the biggest fuck up for us right now.
I'm not saying no. What we need to do is not so much as get rid of it, but use it. That's what the white man did in Europe. That's how they drove the Moors out. They said, okay, we got to drive this enemy out. God said this. So what you do is you use religion, you weaponize religion. You see what I'm saying?
But look how they
You're right. I see where you go.
look how
It's
they
a
played
double-edged
it
sword.
against us though. You got a
It's a
black
double-edged
Muslim
sword.
and a black Christian, and they don't fuck with each other because of their religion, but they go through the same shit that the other one go through every day he wake up. The police, if you're a white Christian or white Muslim, you're a target for him.
What did Malcolm say? What did Malcolm say?
He blended.
Leave your religion at home. Anything that would divide you and me, be it religion, economic status, political party, you're an elk, I'm a Mason, all these things that would divide us, leave that shit at home and focus on what the things that can unite us.
But we
Because
got to get rid of
on a
these
regular
traitors.
basis, we are not killed for being Baptist or Christian Muslim. We're not being killed or subjugated to abuse because I'm a Republican and you're a Democrat. We're not being abused or murdered for any other reason but one. And I know some people are going to have the issue with what I'm getting ready to say. The only reason we are done the way we are done is because we are all of the same skin color. We need to realize that. Once we realize that and push all the other shit out the way, then we can get done what needs to get done. Between that and stop focusing on personal agenda and it's all about me. We need to be about community, then some shit will move.
Mm.
That's where that unity needs to come through. We won't have any other reason to fight each other, debate each other, argue with each other. The only thing we'll be fighting over about is how to get it done quick.
But you do know at this point, we're enemies to the whole world. And the reason I say this, because the colonizer, which is Europe, has made a peace treaty with China. And to verify this, that both of them are targeting us now, and they agree in the future to target us, is because the United States came out with a bill called the China Hate Bill, which protects them. It doesn't mean it's not China protecting the United States. It's the United States swear to protect China and not the original people no more. That's what the bill is about. And our people have to understand that, I mean, me, myself, they can create whatever technology they want because creation comes from the mind. So long as I can type into my pineal gland in my third eye, I will always function on the highest level of intelligence, make it technology or not. And that's what people have to understand. You have to raise the vibration of thinking. And what do you create inside the mind? Because every thought can be created into reality. Just like these artificial intelligence. This was a thought from the mind. Then it started being created by the hand of myself. Poof, I manifested this robot here. This Dodge Charger, this is something I created in the mind. Then later I got the body parts, etc., put it together to run. And I just gave you what I had on my mind and the reality. It's the same thing with this war that's going to take place. We have to start creating in the mind, the vibration. We control the reality. So once we put in mind that this is our throne, this is our land, we manifest this, we create it, master it, bring this shit to the reality. Until the people get think that the highest weapon in the world is your intelligence and is your mind, we will always lose. Right now, these people are winning. But once you take this key that I give you, you unlock the mind, these people have lost the war. They won the battle, but they did not win the war. The war is already won by the highest thinkers of the mind. And every religion takes that away from you. The secret lessons of Masons are to master all the lessons of religions that are true and combine it as one. The agenda of creating religion is to take away the where they can depend on this one sector instead of understanding all religion must be combined as one in order for you to understand the truth. Because the oldest religion is a circuit, which it is a thinking, it's the level of thinking. The seven heavens is inside the mind. It's just unlocking the different chambers of thinking. Think about the baby. When a baby's born, it doesn't talk. It doesn't walk. It needs to be carried. It needs to be fed by its creator. By you feeding this baby and giving it nutrients, you act as God. Because if you put this baby down and don't feed it, this fake God that you done created is not coming to feed this baby no more. The baby would die. Think about it. If you did not raise this baby, did not feed this baby, you did not give the baby no water, no milk, no nutrients, what happens to the baby? The baby dies.
And if you don't give that child physical contact, the baby dies as well.
So we have taken, if it says in Genesis that you are made in the image of God, look at them, they are made like us. Why don't you act like it? Because gods and goddess create more gods and goddess. That's why ancient Chinese, they believe that it's over 330 billion gods. And they're talking about the world with the people in the physical. This is a spirit from the universe that has been put inside a vehicle that now you have to control. If you treat the body wrong, the body dies quicker. If you treat the body right, the body lives longer. Unless you get into a duel with another god. And the god that becomes weak is the god that dies. This is what the people got to understand. You are now giving keys to unlock the mind. When you unlock the mind, you take control of the reality. If you put a grown man in front of a semi truck and it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, I grab the man and move him and the truck goes by. Who saved that man's life? Was it God or was it God? Because I ain't see your God come save you. I've seen me running in the road, grabbing you, moving you to the other side. But I know it's a higher power, it's a supreme, but I know one is man and one is woman, it's feminine and masculinity. And I know the creator ain't up there fucking himself. That'd be a form of homosexuality, which you said is forbidden. We have to tap into these things and dig deep. We looking for a prophet. I'm not looking for a prophet. I'm looking for the science that my supreme creator, the beginning of my bloodline, put on this earth and applied to myself. Genesis states that I gave you domain over the earth and the water and the birds in the sky. A lot of people can't go in nature and deal with animals. Why? Because they don't understand them. They don't know what their traits is. How can you have domain over something you don't know about? That's the problem with our people now. They don't know nothing. They have been stripped. Their mind have been swiped clean. Their mouth has been muted. Their eyes have been shut. And now they're following a white man that put his hands under a black man's arm and he said, I'm going to lead you, brother. Don't worry about it. And this brother taking him through the most fucked up routes that he can ever walk to. Then walks this brother into an ocean and drowns. And all he had to do was open up his eyes and look and see that this man's misleading him. It's that deep. In this picture, Noble Drew Ali is holding the woman out the water. A lot of people don't understand this. Man fucked up and walked his mother into the ocean and let her drown. And went back to shore and thought that he was now the head of the house. Then when he seen that he couldn't reproduce or teach or control things that he wasn't taught, he had to go back in the ocean, revise, reincarnate the woman and bring her back to shores because he couldn't do it without her. Right now, our woman is underwater. She's drowning. She's going deeper and deeper and deeper. And the more she goes down, the more unconscious she comes. It's like you see the white light, but the deeper you go, it gets darker, it gets darker, it gets darker, and you begin to forget and forget and to forget until you no longer exist. Our people don't know that they exist. That's what it is. They don't know who they are. If you don't know who you are, you don't exist. You whatever I tell you you are. So we have to wake up. Myself, I have dove in this ocean and I'm swimming to go get this woman. Because if this woman dies, the whole humanity dies. When I grab this woman, I have to swim back up before I run out of oxygen. But this woman weighs more than 1,000,000 pounds, and it's going to take more than 1,000,000 of us to swim and help each other get this million pounded woman that's the creator of humanity to come back to conscious. And that's where we at with it right now. So remember, use your mind to create and to bring these things into reality. Because everything was created in the mind. You can't show me nothing that man has made that haven't went across a man's thought. You can go get any scientist you want. I done gave you all the science you need. That man that created that building, ask him, did it come across his mind first? That house that got smart TVs and smart locks, have this idea came across a man's mind. That means it was a thought before it came into the reality. So you have to watch about, be careful what you think. You think negative, eventually this shit starts to form. It's like the man putting semen into a woman and create the eggs, get fertilized, and it gets to growing. Now you bring it to life. Same thing with the thoughts that goes in your mind. Be careful, because if it hits that fertile ground, that seed gets to growing. Boom, here goes the reality. That's how deep this shit is. And people that really think that this is a game, good luck. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up all night. I want to open the floor for questions and concerns in any building. So y'all have the floor at this point. I yield.
Greetings, greetings, give thanks. Islam, peace and love. It's very important what you're saying, brother. And that's why I know for a fact that we need to come back to self. Like for us building this nation here, we need to have in place whoever coming in the nation, they have to be, because what I'm trying to get at is basically everything is already laid out for us. All we gotta do is remember who we are, who we were. And I think we have enough material between each of us to put together something that is a structure that people could follow, that could be a guideline and towards being the person you're supposed to be on this earth, meaning dwelling in your spiritual self, in your higher self, because this is the most important thing we need to do to put people back in the state of mind, just like how we get status correction, where you have to put your truth on the record in order to be recognized in the nations of the world, international world. It's the same thing we got to do spiritually. We got to put ourselves back in order spiritually to move forward and to basically get rid of this evil, because you don't know the power that we have in our spiritual self, in our higher self. Like when we energize the 7 chakras in our body, right? Because we are the gods, but we just had to know how to bring back the God-like person online. And this is true, as I said, qigong, meditation, eating certain foods, but there is a way. So if we can implement that way and have people go through that, that would be good. I yield the floor.
Ashe, anybody? I want to pass the vibration around. So I want everybody to give some type of feedback, or if you got questions or concerns, go for it.
I would just like to give a special acknowledgement to our brother, Crown Prince Joshua, for bringing us the sciences and the information. I've known this brother and walked with this brother for a couple of years now, and we should be thanking this brother for putting us all on a more straight and narrow path. I would even go out of the way and say that this brother is a true leader. I don't know if you want to say a prophet or a disciple, devout disciple, whatever you want to call it, but we have to give him that acknowledgement because he's trying to put us on a path, and our nation on a path better than what we had. Very few leaders have actually made progress or pushed the movement further, if that makes sense. You have a lot of people, a lot of people who come into a movement and do great things, do wonderful things, but the movement never really goes anywhere. I can honestly say that this brother has, with this movement, really pushed the movement further in the right direction. And I want to give that brother all the credit and all the acknowledgement in the world. And we need to be thanking this brother and continuing to support him in anything that he needs. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, brother, I appreciate you and your commitment on what you do. And then at the same time, the commitment that everybody else brings to the table as well. Because we're all one nation, we are all one people. We have a lot of work to do. We have a long way to go in short time. And without brothers like the Crown Prince and what he brings to the table and to our people, we would be lost. And that's all I got. I yield the floor.
Ashe, appreciate it. Y'all make a nigga want to cry or something. Appreciate it. It's gratitude. Who's next?
I'll go. I just want to say we need to figure out what direction we're going in, because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm all over the place because it's just so much information to process. And I'm an analytical person, but I like organization, so it's like, where do you start? Where do you start, and what's the end goal right now? Right now with this mess we in, where do we start and what's the end goal? How we get there? I don't even where we start and then where we going.
To respond to your question, starts at home. Starts about being committed, 100% committed, no half-ass. The same time you give to these Europeans, you should give to yourself, your children, and your nation. Where's the start is? The start is with the land, which we have that. That's something me and Azrael is going in the second week of November to solidify. We have to put our people in the same area. It just has to work that way. I mean, I understand we spread it out, we can recruit, we can bring our people in, but we can station on the same land and travel all over to get our people and bring them back home. That's not a problem. Because if we not operating this, what we're doing now is a cyber community. We're not from the same community. This is a cyber community. So we have to bring back the ancient. The ancients have returned. We have to get back to our original culture, original way. And that means building a village. And that's what me and Azrael don't have planned to do, but to really make it happen. This is not a plan. This is something that's going to happen. And nobody is going to stop that. Once we get the land, you got garden. It's so many ways to make so much money off the land, even with the dispensaries in Georgia. You have enough land to grow, you can do that as well. People don't have to worry about finances or resources. Our resources will come off our own land. We can plant apple trees, this, that, and the third. And if we are a vegan community, we ain't got to worry about meat. So these is things that I'm pushing for. Now, let's not forget about, we might go on a military attack, a cyber attack, et cetera, et cetera. That's why we have to set up different departments. A military has to train like a military. 100 push-ups ain't shit. I need you to give me 500 push-ups less than an hour, et cetera, et cetera. I know these things cannot be played with and certain things have to be implemented. That's why it was my goal of bringing Azrael in and the order in, and we all fall in as one unit and move like that. I'm not too worried about what's going on with these Temple Moors or these organizations that's causing confusion. Because as I said before, there's no disrespect to the brothers in the NFAC that was really committed. But you mean to tell me you had 14,000 men marching with fucking guns and nobody shot the enemy? That's a fucking joke. I took it as a joke. They took it as a joke. When you see 1,400 of my men, 14K, 100K of our men march, we're not marching to fucking negotiate with nobody. We're enforcing law. And if you don't like it, you just gonna lay down. Land grants, this is the territory of Washington, Dr. Munga, the mound builders. When the ancient ones return, we're taking back what belongs to us. And we're not negotiating with nobody. Nobody. The fuck I look like negotiating with your European ass? Am I racist? Yeah, you broke us down to 5 sections. So you should have your ass back in your section. Europe. You might was born here, but your descents come from over there. You don't look like nobody from over here. Auntie, you know him. He said he our cousin. Daddy, you know him. He said our cousin. Oh, that motherfucker belong across the water. So that's my strategy, but I still need people to do something. Don't just be here and you ain't got no assignment. Like the sister said the other day, everybody needs an assignment and they need to bring back what that assignment told them to do. I need people on the internet seeing what's going on with chemtrails, artificial intelligence. I need somebody typing up hour, 2 hours a day, see what the fuck going on with that. Cargo being blocked, this was going on in the news. They got new laws coming out, etc. We need a database. That's why I told a lot of y'all to go watch the J. Edgar Hoover movie. This man was so fucking intelligent. That's why we're in the fucking boat we in now. The man that brought the motherfucking control of our minds, that took it to a higher level, was J. Edgar Hoover. And he was a brother at that. But they gave you a picture that he was European. Man, that brother, his mama was white, his daddy was black. Simple as that. That brother was one of us. But he was a traitor. Then he came out to be a homosexual. All types of wicked shit. So you have to think that you can hate gays, you can hate racists, you can hate the Klan. But one thing that every human has to respect is an intelligent mind. Because you have no choice but to respect it. That's law. That's why I say you have to use the key to unlock these chambers. This is the highest order ever. Nobody could ever control your mind if you don't let them. They can't. The highest key starts in the mind. And that's what people gotta understand. You don't have to like me, but you're gonna respect my intelligence. Malcolm X wasn't respected because he was a color. He was respected because they knew he was smart. You can't take anything away from me that I already know. You can take anything you want from me, but you can never take away my mind. That's something you can't get. But I'm not going to elaborate no more. That was my response on your question, if it answers. Is that the answer you're looking for, sister?
Because
Say that again. I think her phone dropped out. So anyway, I want to pass the vibrational mic to somebody else. This time it could be a gentleman. Any question or concern? One of the Moabs. Tryon, Xavier.
I'm just absorbing right now, bro. I'm taking it all in because basically people saying basically what I wanted to say or some of the questions. I'm good for right now.
Xavier.
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's pass it to one of the sisters. And what sisters got any questions, concerns, or that you want to put on the platform? Ding, 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 ding. Kalina.
Islam.
Any questions or concerns, or do you have any feedback? We would love to hear from you.
Not at the moment. I'm just going through my notes right quick.
Go ahead, brother. You want to say something?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with technology. It's just the fact that they use it to control. You know, I mean, that's my opinion. Nothing wrong with advancing. It's just the fact that, again, they use it to control and do other shit and invade our privacy. That's the problem.
Ashe. So let me ask some questions to some of y'all to make y'all engage. This will be towards Tavia. Can you hear me? Well, all the sisters, I want to hear a response. Then I want to hear a response from the brother. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Yes.
How do you think that the black man failed the family? Did you hear my question?
Oh,
Say it again.
How do you think the black man failed the black family? And what can he do better to bring back that family foundation?
I don't think it was his fault. It wasn't his fault at all. But ways he failed is due to our lack of care of what, I'm not gonna say lack of care. Lack of care would be the wrong word. Due to our lack of understanding. No, I don't want to say that either. I really want to choose my words carefully because it's the same way it's not his fault of what he was going through, it's not our fault either. During slavery times, they were humiliated and basically taken away the same way that they do today. Like when they put Black women in housing and they tell you you can't have a man staying with you or your rent go up, and you can't have food stamps if you getting help from a man or you're legally married, or you feel me? So they had to take away the Black structure of the family in order to break the man down, take him out of the household, make the women think they're independent. So you can take away that structure. That's like tearing away the kingdom. That structure is there for a purpose. You got the king, you got the empress, and you got the child. You take away the man out of the household, everything's gonna fall. Like for example, not to denote the fact that there's a lot of us that grew up without fathers. Some of us grew up with horrible fathers because they didn't have any direction. They had no sense of direction, but it's not their fault. You talking about a group of people who someone purposely tried to dehumanize and took away things, and the things that our grandparents knew, we're just beginning to realize it this generation. Imagine the generation before us that didn't realize it in time. You're talking about mental slavery. So this is not the Black man's fault. And not to say the Black woman didn't understand him. We became, I don't really want to say big-headed, but that's what it was. It's like we got sick of doing certain things and being a certain way because we felt like we had too much weight on our shoulders. So we decided to basically listen to that white man and say, you know what, we can do this by ourselves. Like we really don't need you to lean on. We got ourselves. We making it by ourselves. There's even some companies that pay us more than y'all. So that independent thinking put us in a position where we thought we didn't need a man because we didn't need him for money, and we didn't need him for stability, and we didn't need him for, you know, the things that there is in a household. But we forgot about the whole other part, the spirituality of it. We forgot that he is us. He our son, he our brother, he our father. That's our nephew. So we don't help him come back to his position, then we can also fall.
So do you see what they're doing now? Now they have, I don't think people see what have taken place. We went from slavery, where they separate us by color, height, weight, big, whatever. Then they separate the man from woman. Then she got house. Now they have taken a step further. And you know what that is? When they took the man from the woman, they had to put the man somewhere. So where did the man go? To prison. When the man went to prison, 60% of them became gay.
Whoa.
And I would say that because some of them are just undercover and don't want to tell nobody. But 60% of them became gay. And how do they become gay? It's a mental thing. If you looking at men for the last 20 years, you don't think it don't cross that man mind about being gay or getting off or trying to make that man look like a woman? This is something that they know that was gonna start fucking with his mind. He was traumatized. So now you take these 60% of gay men that wasn't gay from nature, but he was gay after they start fucking with the mental and moving shit around. Now he's on the streets. So all it takes is one man to come out and say, you know what, I'm gay. Are you just gotta accept me or not? Now the next man, I'm gay too, and we gay too. Oh, now we got a gay community. Now our children are to accept in society that being gay is okay. When really homos was only existing inside prisons at a certain point. You had some on the streets, but it was a low percentage. So now you have changed the mind of man thinking he don't need woman either. You see how they took the man from the woman and separated him? So the woman depends on the system, and now this man depends on another man because that's his fucking lover now. Did you see how they separated? Now the man depends on the man, and two women are trying to raise a child. And they're so feminine that he becomes feminine because he picks up on the traits. This system is fucking wicked. And until we see that our biggest problem is to bring the man back to the woman and to unite, you fucking,
What are you looking for?
you fucking lose the war.
What is?
The war.
Oh, well, that's because it's fine. We have to understand that we are in a war. You feel me? It goes back to Willie Lynch. It goes back to them planning the next 400 years. You feel me? The devil don't sleep. He up all night. He's constantly planning. While we playing around, while we not doing what we're supposed to do, he's planning. And every generation is something new that keeps because the brain has a tendency to correct itself. Eventually, it will correct itself. So they have to throw in some type of incentive to keep it from correcting itself. You feel me? All of our grandparents was born in the baby boomers, 20s, 30s, early 40s. They still had some type of morals, values, and structures. I don't know if anyone is on here who was born in the 50s and 60s, but my personal opinion, I think that's where it switched. And it could have been the system, but my mother and her generation, my uncles and aunts, didn't do what they were supposed to do. You feel me? The structure failed somewhere in between that. And it came from the government as well, because the 70s, you feel me? It was unity. It was Black Panthers. We were coming together, making moves or trying to make moves rather. But then what came in the 80s? Ronald Reagan brought the war on drugs. Crack came in the 80s. I was born in 83. You feel me? All of my peers were affected by that. Either your mother stepped out, your father stepped out, or both your parents was out on crack. They had abandoned us. You feel me? That started it. Then after that, even though we had crack in the 80s, we still had some type of structure with our music because we had KRS-One and DJ Kane and people that were still speaking consciously. That was the start of hip hop. So what came in the 90s? Gangster rap. You feel me? It's chess, not checkers. The point of chess is to know your opponent's next move. So they trying to stay 10 steps ahead of us. You feel me? Then came gangster movies. And all that has to do with the eye gates and the ear gates. Now we putting this negative stuff into you all's brains. It's gonna keep the brain from correcting itself. I yield the floor.
The sisters dropping some signs. What y'all brothers got for me? Nobody. None of the brothers ain't. Y'all. Somebody got something. Well, I offer the floor to be open for questioning right now. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and motion it. If not, then I want to go ahead and close out because we already been up here for a hot minute. Been up here since 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock your time. And Nita, I encourage you to go back and watch the video so you can get caught up to par. So any questions or concerns? If not,
I want to extend the assignment that I gave the Defense Department. I want everyone here with a notebook or pen and paper to sit down and watch 2 movies. I want you to watch The Purge, the first Purge, which is the 4th movie, and The Forever Purge. Take notes. Pay very close attention to details. And then we're going to come back and talk about those 2 movies.
can you find out what movies it's on? Because that's what people probably having a problem with. I know Prime got it, but Hulu, Max, Netflix, somebody gotta have it. Somebody.
Hey, I got them on DVD, bro. I'm a DVD and Blu-ray head.
Remember, we're in new technology now.
I know. Hey, look. I'll be the first to say that I'm guilty. I'll tell you right off the bat. But again, I want everyone to watch those 2 movies. Again, it is the first Purge, which is the 4th movie, and then the Forever Purge. And again, I want you to take very close notes to every little thing in the movie. And then we're going to talk about it.
You got free access to Kodiak?
Who? It is on Fire Stick more than likely, but you have to.
Yeah.
If you have a Fire Stick, you could download Cinema HD. I'll get the link from my queen, and then I'll put it to Brother Joshua, or I'll put it in the group. You have to get it through the what? You have to get it through the downloader app on the Fire Stick.
So it got to be on Hulu or something. I know they got to have that movie on Hulu. Yeah. I got some accounts today. I got my little cousin sent me her accounts. I sent her. I'll trade you my accounts for your accounts. Netflix or Hulu. I'm gonna try that. If I find them, then I'll let y'all know. And I just pop the passcodes on the app.
YouTube ain't gonna have it.
They do, but it's blurry. Like you will fucking hate it. I mean, you might as well read a book for it. I like it. You know what I mean? Blurry as hell. They got it up there, but it's blurry.
Got you.
So I'm gonna check Hulu and Netflix. I know HBO Max don't got none of them. So that's something I'm gonna get done ASAP. Probably get one of them out the way tonight. My thing, I want to challenge the chief of defense is to watch that J. Edgar movie. Cause you already seen the Purge, so we gotta give you a couple.
Right. I'm gonna watch that probably tomorrow, and take notes as well. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
And something called The Black Box.
Okay.
Black Box. John Edgar Hoover. So, yeah. But if it ain't no questions, ain't no concerns, all is well. Adjourn this meeting. Peace, love, justice, freedom, all them good words. I ask that the ancestors be with you and give you guidance. I give praise to the creators, all the prophets that brought the message from the great God. Self, herself, God, and Goddess. They're not one without each other. They need each other. We need them. Ours need us. So peace and light. Try to meditate before you go to bed, even if it's 5 minutes. Put on some meditation music and think about everything we talked about tonight. That way, after I want to build in the chat, we can. I'm just gonna adjourn. I need to put some nutrients in my body. No questions, we'll go ahead and close out. This meeting will be on YouTube in a couple hours, maybe tomorrow. I am working on a contract sent to me by the elder. Everybody that's a part of Washington has to sign this contract. So read it, know what you're signing. This contract will have to be notarized. You have to go get it notarized. Place it on the public record and give it one for us to hold for our record. So then you will be held accountable under contract. Peace and love. Islam.
Peace and love, Islam.
Islam.
Peace and love, Islam.
Islamism.
Shit, peace and love.